Laura Lippman has more than 20 books to her credit. Another one of her works is getting a Hollywood treatment with the upcoming Apple series Lady in the Lake, starring Natalie Portman and Lupita Nyong'o. That's in addition to her latest novel, Dream Girl, set once again in Lippman's hometown of Baltimore.
I didn't hit the bestseller list until my 12th book. So that was considered forever. People were saying, you get 3 books and then they'll drop you. But they didn't. They stuck by me.
Laura Lippman's career playing the long game began as a print reporter.
Is there any one thing you really regret in this campaign?
Before moving from writing articles about the city she was raised in to writing books about it, her beloved Baltimore.
I mean, one thing about Baltimore is it needs love. And if you're able to provide that, that feels good.
When you look out here, do you think of all the places you drop bodies?
I drop most of my bodies in Lincoln Park. Have I put any bodies in the water?
Besides the city itself, Lippman's best-known character is private investigator Tess Monahan, star of 12 detective novels. By now, though, there is so much more, including her latest Dream Girl, a suspense novel about an aging writer confined to his home after an injury. Things take a dark turn when he begins receiving menacing phone calls from a woman claiming to be the subject of his last novel. The entire story plays out in his penthouse suite, in a fictionalized version of one of the many luxury properties popping up around Baltimore.
The idea for Dream Girl came from where?
It started with just the observation of the isolation trope in horror fiction, where you
need
misery, obviously misery.
Misery, of course, is the famous Stephen King story, adapted into a 1990 film starring Kathy Bates and James Caan, about a writer trapped by his #1 fan and forced to write a sequel with a better ending.
Remember how for all those years nobody knew who Misery's real father was? Or if they'd ever be reunited? It's all right here.
Lippman also says the country isolation, central to the 2018 horror film A Quiet Place, influenced her thinking.
I've always wanted to write something horror-tinged in a city where you can see people and people maybe can see you, and where you have your phone and the electricity works and you're still so isolated, because I felt that people were more isolated than they knew.
Dream Girl is, it's crime, it's detective, it's mystery, it's horror, it's all those.
Yeah, but throw in literary fiction while you're at it.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And it certainly takes some, I don't want to spoil anything, but it takes some pretty severe, harsh turns.
Yes. Well, if I write a book, a body's going to drop.
You kill people.
I kill people, yes. That's what I do for a living.
Lippman's last novel, the critically acclaimed bestseller Lady in the Lake, began with another body. Inspired by 2 real murders in Baltimore in the 1960s. It follows a white reporter as she tries to solve the murder of a young black woman during that same era.
You wrote about race a lot, obviously, in Lady in the Lake, different than Dream Girl. Mm-hmm. Why did you feel like you needed to do that?
I live in Baltimore. If I don't write about race sometime, I'm not writing about Baltimore.
But do you think Lady in the Lake was so good because you forced yourself to do something different?
Yeah, I've tried very hard never to write the same book twice. And, you know, I'm over 20 books in, and it gets harder.
11 years ago, Lippman and her husband, fellow writer David Simon, welcomed a daughter. She chronicled that in a rare personal essay titled Game of Crones, republished in her 2020 collection, My Life as a Villainess.
I was 51 when my daughter was born.
Why did you want to document all that?
I wanted to tell this story because at the time I thought it was unique. Like, I don't know anyone like me. I don't know someone who's got a kid in grade school and is writing novels and just has sort of this weird, improbable life. And what I found out when I wrote the piece is that it was far more universal than I ever knew. I felt like when I walked up to the elementary school to drop my kid off after that piece was published on the internet, I mean, I really felt like I was just like, you know, walking into applause. Like, woman after woman came up to me and said, oh, I so got it.
Along with author, wife, and mom, you can also add mentor. Lippman brings up-and-coming writers to Baltimore and gives them a place to live and work.
It's wonderful.
I've never talked about it publicly, and I probably shouldn't, because you cannot apply for the Lippman Fellowship. I must just reach down from the heavens, and with the, yeah, we're working on a short list of people. The office is under renovation, and I can't reach out to anyone until I'm really sure when it's going to be back in working order.
Well, with full apologies, you might be getting some additional applications.
Yeah. Well, I opened my mouth, so it happened.
If you had forecast your career in '99 and looked at what you've done now, what would you think?
I won't say it's beyond my wildest dreams, because I can dream pretty wildly, but it definitely hit the upper 99 percentile of what I thought would be possible if I got very, very, very lucky.
She did get very lucky, and she's also very talented. Lippman Fellowship applications here.
I mean, yeah, watch out now. I hate saying I love it, but the fact that she had worked for so long and then found the success, and I know we've told stories before like that, it just feels like somehow that it means something different to you at that point.
And also the fact that some authors do tend to write the same book over and over again.
Right.
She always forces herself, as we said, to do something different.
Yeah. I love that she's a journalist. Proves that, you know,
there you go.
We got some talent out there beyond the talent we have.
That's right.
Yeah.